People of Reddit, what ended your friendship with your best friend? We planned a trip to another country, which she happened to have an online relationship with a guy who also lived there. The moment we arrived off the plane and she found her BF, that was the last I saw of her until the end of the trip where we met at the airport. Very awkward experience. She also wanted him to join us in the hotel room, and was upset when I refused to allow him in. Once we got back home from the trip, I never heard from her again. He was sentenced to prison for molesting 2 children. I went to visit him in prison because I did not believe it was possible it could be true. 1. I learned it was true. 2. He did not seem to understand what he did was wrong. Because it was true and because he did not understand it was wrong, it is likely he will repeat the actions when released from prison. Cannot be friends or have any association. I have known this guy for over 35 years. I got tired of always being the one to put forth any effort. Fly across the world to meet up, attend family gatherings, reach out, be patient, make sacrifice. It was good times when we were together. So it was worth it for a while, but when she moved close and still never bothered to make an effort, I was over it. Wish her nothing but the best. When I realized he was a bully, I just wanted his friendship and attention, and then I realized he was using me for kicks. I put up with his bullshit because I wanted to be liked. He leaked personal files that were information about the people we take in. He was my coworker at a funeral home, and tried to blame it on me. Those files included autopsies, pictures of the actual body, legal information, and so on. He would also not follow the requests given by family members, religious practices such as thoroughly cleaning the body before burial, etc. Just a horrible person overall, and I truly believe that he leaked those things for personal fetishes because he had serious problems and we were suspecting him already. After 14 years of friendship, we get an apartment and suddenly he loses his job as a personal trainer because of a dress code violation. He wore a hoodie to work, allegedly, and then 2 to 3 months of him not working. Then after he agreed to pay me back eventually, all he ever gave me was $400 from his mom. I paid over $14,000 for the year. So I paid the full year lease and he stayed 8 months total. I never talked to him again, also because I found a receipt where he was trying to make a copy of my car keys make and model. F that guy. Every single time that I would tell her I was interested in / talking to a guy, she would try to get with him. She was never successful, but it hurt that she kept trying. I confronted her about this in a very nice and civil way and explained to her how I felt about this. She apologized profusely and promised it would never happen again. And then it happened again. I just immediately cut her off after that, no explanation or words needed. She knows what she did. Haven't spoken a word to her since. Took an international vacation where we realized we hated damn near everything each other did the whole time. Realized year of seeing each other 1 to 2 times a month made us hardly know each other. Oh dear. My best friend online, who I've known for years, is coming to visit in person for 3 weeks. Now I'm worried. Just made a post about this, but she uses me as a therapist, but when I try to vent to her, she gives me a few cliché words of support before turning the conversation back to her. It's gotten to the point where we don't talk unless she has a bad day and needs someone to talk to. She'll take days or even a week to respond to a funny meme, but then immediately start dumping on me about things going on her life. I'll invite her out to have fun and within a few hours, I'm being her life coach. Also, we just started to grow apart. She's turned into her parents, and her parents are the typical snobby suburban people that are extremely judgmental. A car accident, he went to his new job with a new car and never heard of him after that. Got a letter from his parents that he will be buried soon. Will never forget about him. He was such a good friend to me. Edit. Thank you guys for all the supportive words, and I've been reading all of your answers. Yes, I'm doing better nowadays and I wish you the same recovery from your losses. I shared so many things with my bro and also knew he dreamed to become a good dad to a cute daughter. He wanted kids. He'd been making me crazy telling me that story over and over again. Now it's just haunting me when I think about it, but maybe I can make him happy when I keep his wish and my heart died. Still hits me every day when this comes up. We can just move on and take that with us. Her dad died unexpectedly and I was there for her. My dad died unexpectedly a year later and she was not, maybe couldn't be, there for me. It happens, life is weird. My mom died and I thought the two friends I had with bereaved parents would be super there for me, like I tried to be for them when it happened. Thought they'd understand and not be scared off and stuff. That wasn't the case. I wonder if it brought up bad memories for them. Life is weird. But I had an excellent boyfriend who lost his dad young to get me through, some other good friends, and even made some new ones who had been through similar stuff. The whole experience, and it happening in 2020, was definitely the most friendship-changing experience in my life though. She didn't invite me to her birthday party. It was my first time back from college and I would have been able to go. She made a whole Facebook event page and invited everybody but me. I found out through mutual friends. The kicker was no one showed up and she called me crying that this other girl didn't show up. You were her bestie and she didn't invite you? Why was that? That's just weird. Probably she didn't consider her a bestie. It was just one-sided. College roommates, shared a room for 2 years. Best friends. Turned out she was a raging klepto and pathological liar, stole everything from my car to my underwear and was a known thief around campus. Also was telling people lies about me to keep me isolated and basically make her the one who was always there for me. Confronted her with evidence and she never owned up to it, was stuck in a lease for a few more months and kept it civil, then cut contact once I moved out. Was really sad. We were best friends, or at least I thought we were. She found me a place to stay for free with one of her friends during my divorce. I was insanely depressed and I was a horrible roommate. She found me a great opportunity to restart my life, and I just pissed all of her friends off. I don't blame her. I was a total wreck during those months. Just miss that friend I had for 20 years. Damn, I'm sorry to hear that, but seriously major props to you for having the self-awareness to understand how and why things happened the way they did. Too many people would try to blame others instead of realizing the consequences of their actions. I hope you are doing better now. Time. We grew up, had kids, and moved apart. Edit. I've known this guy since I was 6 or 7, which has now been 40 plus years, He was my best friend, and I'd still consider him as such. We were both best men at each other's weddings, and I was the first non-family member invited to the hospital to hold his children after they were born. Time just sneaks up on you. It's the small things to start with, and eventually, the relationship is still there, but there's no significant time or contact spent on either side. We still text/call each other about 1 to 2 times a year about serious matters, family/jobs, but the regular screwing around time we used to have is done and gone. I know if either of us called the other and said, "Hey, I need help ASAP," we'd both still drop whatever we were doing to help the other, but what I really miss is the small goofy interactions we used to have. Saddest one so far. Honestly, this is the scenario I am most scared of. When my father was dying of cancer, my best friend called me to catch up and I told him about it, and he nonchalantly said, "Your dad's dying because he isn't praying enough and that he would be healed if someone spoke in tongues over him." I was in disbelief that he got roped into the insane religious cult like his parents. I told him that was the grossest thing I could ever hear from him and hung up. My father died 2 weeks later. It's been 2 years and he hasn't called or texted once. Good F riddance. F you Tim. I was pretty much his only friend. He would come to me for attention, but for whatever reason wasn't able to make any interaction about me. It was always about him. On his terms. Me. We lived together for a few years and it was mostly good. As soon as we moved into different places, the convenience of our friendship died, and it was replaced by him only wanting to engage with me on his terms around things he wanted. I slowly grew exhausted by it and found myself investing in people who were able to give as well as receive. She tried setting up her gay friend with our mutual gay friend, and the mutual friend wasn't interested. She couldn't get the hint, so I told her to cut it out. Still didn't get it and kept trying. Called her rude and a shitty friend, and then she dumped me. The mutual friend, the ex-best friend, and I haven't talked in over 6 years. Oh well, it was all toxic anyway. They're both gay, so of course they want to date each other. You know, I still don't know. We were super close for about 7 years, maybe? Since my first year in college. Then she just didn't want to be friends with me anymore. Clearly, she felt something was amiss between us because our mutual friends also gave me the cold shoulder after that. Honestly, it actually wasn't as devastating as it sounds. I think she would have told me if I legit did something bad, so probably something else was going on. She came out as a lesbian and got a girlfriend right before this, and I think that had a lot to do with it. Maybe the girlfriend didn't like her GF having such a close woman friend? The weird thing was I did not find it devastating, and I never thought I would be that kind of person. But, as soon as those other people sort of turned on me, I was out of there with that group. I felt it was good riddance to bad rubbish if that's what they were like. Maybe I would have been distraught if we were all still in college. However, we were way past that time, plus that type of politicking seemed childish. My husband at the time had to step away from his job because he was dealing with pretty severe mental health issues. We had a young child and I was a stay-at-home mom, and it was really devastating not only financially, but socially, as a lot of our social life revolved around his job and work friends. I was really good friends with a co-worker's wife. The co-worker moved into my husband's, higher up, position when my husband had to resign. We had to sell our home since we couldn't make the mortgage payment anymore. The friend came to help me pack, and while doing so told me that they always knew this would happen because the Lord had revealed it to the husband in a dream several years earlier. They had basically been waiting around for my husband to fail so that co-worker could succeed and fulfill the Lord's prophecy. Yeah, I know. Said goodbye to her, moved out of state, and never looked back. I won't tolerate people using religion to be dicks. That's weird as hell. He passed away at his job after we graduated high school. He worked at an asphalt creation center and fell 30-ish feet into a boiling asphalt silo and boiled to death. He had just turned 18, and it was a few days before my 19th birthday. Jail. He went to jail for a really dumb reason and want return letters. I don't know if it's embarrassment or what, but he doesn't seem to want to be contacted. I got cancer twice. He didn't bother to call, text or visit. Oh, this was pre-pandemic, so the hospitals were allowing visitors. She slept with a married guy. I said I thought that was immoral of both of them. We ended up arguing whether that is legitimately polyamory. As far as I know, the wife never knew. I don't know how they ended up now, and to be honest, I'm a bit curious too. I was long-term single and lonely. He was married, and suddenly all he could talk about was how much fun he was having by cheating on his wife. After a while of getting more and more depressed by being around him, I had thoughts like, how can I claim to respect women if I'm hanging out with him? How can I claim to respect relationships and marriage if I'm hanging out with him? I'd honestly rather have nobody to hang out with than someone who only talks about cheating on his wife. I ghosted him as much as is possible when you work at the same office. I've not seen any sign of him in 15 years, and I'll be happy to never see him again.